And stand by. Live from the land that freedom forgot, the most listened to Second Amendment broadcast in the nation. Welcome to it.
We have a full studio today. What number show is this? Tree 83, our highest numbered show yet, by the way.
Oh, I like that.
Tree 83. So we have the ever-present Dr. Madalian from Madalian Chiropractic on the show today. We have GunForHire alumni and SafeCon attendee Brian Goldberg in the house. How are you, Bri?
Very good, thank you.
Good. Share the mic. And we have a returning guest. We have Jen Haas is on the show again. How are you, Jen?
Very good, thank you.
Good. So we're gonna talk about a lot of issues here, and I'm gonna be covering some stuff. But before we really get into the show, I got 1,300 verified petitions for my NRA board seat. I only needed 651, so I want to thank all the listeners, supporters, and everybody. Thank you. Cliff Toy is the number one a person to get petition signatures from me. Even though he didn't show up for SafeCon, I'm going to excuse him for that. And Gary Allison is second. And then I got petitions mailed to me from Alaska, Hawaii, Wyoming, Montana, Tennessee.
Awesome.
You name it. I think I covered all 50 states. So what that means now is I'm on the petition, and I'll be on the slate. My bio will come out probably in January or the February NRA magazine, and you'll have to vote for me, and you'll have until April at annual meeting will they announce who the board of directors are. So Tom Selleck stepped down as a director, and John Cushman, who was 26th in the election process, he became the 25th director now. So he wasn't running, I believe, for re-election anyway. Last week.
Huh?
73 years old. He said he had other obligations. To be honest, I like Tom Selleck. He was a good face, but he was not active as a board member. He was like a few of the others that aren't active. So without further ado, I want to talk real quick about an issue we had in New Jersey, and everybody should be aware of it. We'll probably have Scott Bach or Dan Schmutter on next week. We're waiting for a decision for our injunction on the magazine ban. I know everybody is interested in that. If you want info on that and the countdown clock, just Google Gun for Hire mag ban or mag ban case, and we have a web page that has a countdown clock and updated information from ANJRPC and Evan Knappen on there. But right now it's the middle of December we're waiting for Judge Sheridan's decision on an injunction so that the time clock will stop while we're suing to get the mag ban overturned, hopefully to be successful. And then there's also going to be exciting updates to our right to carry case that Scott Bach or Dan are going to be sharing with us as well, because it's getting crazier and crazier in New Jersey. We just had a case that Evan Knappen handled, and his name was Judge Haas. Jen.
No relation.
Any no?
No.
Okay. Anyway, what we're finding out now, this case was Evan Knappen's case, and Louis Knappen did the brief, who was on the show last week. They denied a security guard a right to carry.
Why is a security guard need a gun?
Okay, this is for a movie theater, and basically what they're saying is the state has no justification to approve a security guard to be armed, and they should consider hiring off-duty cops.
Oh.
You know, which costs like $150 an hour as opposed to like $35 or $40 an hour to pay a company. So Knappen's handling this case. They're probably going to be appealing it. So we know that out of 9 million people in New Jersey, less than 3,000 private citizens have carry permits. And there's probably maybe 10,000 armored car drivers and security guards that have carry permits. So now they're going to de-arm them as well. So it's incredibly backwards how we're doing things in a state. So it's just getting worse and worse. And, with Murphy leading the charge, it's really scary. The last thing, we'll end on a funny note. All of the Democrats tell us all the time about global warming, and I ranted about this the other day. So 1 million people have moved out of New York in the past 8 years. Tax-paying citizens.
Just 1 million?
Just 1 million that they verified. And Andrew Cuomo, Governor Harpo Cuomo, says that the reason the 1 million people moved out was because of the cold weather.
Is that what it is?
Yes, it had nothing to do with the business climate. It had nothing to do with the tax climate. It's the climate. But I thought we had global warming. Shouldn't New York be getting warmer, Sandy?
Should be. Yeah.
Okay, these people are deranged. They literally are deranged. It's amazing that how could you publicly blame cold weather for having people move out.
Anything but what you normally would do.
The top 5 states of people moving out, New York's number 3. We're number 1. Murphy's going to get us to 1 plus. So
We're going to hold that.
they think it's a some equation where, well, 1 million move out, but 1 million more move in. But the 1 million more that are moving in are illegals. Right now, they say that we have 22 million non-tax paying. Right now, they say we have 22 million illegals in this country, and this was done by
most of them live in Lakewood, New Jersey.
By an Ivy League study. It was done by. They've been saying 11 million illegals for the past few years. Now we find out it's 22 million. It cost the U.S. taxpayers conservatively $134 billion a year. Go ahead, Doc.
Yeah, I was going to say, I just was listening to you speak, was it last week or the week before, about you can't even say the word illegal aliens anymore,
Yeah,
right?
I can.
Yeah.
If you say it on Twitter, you'll get banned.
Or on YouTube.
Yeah, or on YouTube. You can't say,
that's what I heard.
hi, YouTube, illegal alien. YouTube, illegal alien. We have bets going how long before I get banned on YouTube. So,
Incredible.
yes.
Incredible.
So this is where we're at right now. Brian, let's get to you. Congratulations, you're a newlywed. I met your lovely wife
Yes, you did.
and stepdaughter,
Correct.
and you've been married 2 weeks now, or 3 weeks?
August 13th. It was actually we dated about. I was her high school sweetheart about 12 years ago,
Uh-huh.
and then things happened.
Uh-huh.
Life moved on, and then we found each other again. So it's the same date that we got together 13 years ago, 14 years ago now.
Wow, it's
Full
amazing.
circle.
Yeah,
Mazel tov.
Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
So she was very lovely. The child was very well behaved because did you have a good
For that
time at
scenario?
SafeCon?
I did, yeah.
Did you learn
very
a lot?
informative, yes.
Is it sad that we only had a few hundred people?
Yeah, talking to Jimmy, he said like last year was a lot more people, and I saw what I saw, and I came for what I saw.
The seminars are priceless. For
They are.
$20
Exactly.
to have Pirelli and
Regardless.
Knappen and Schmutter and Bach speak and have the panels that we had. I understand we had people complaining that it was in Vineland, and I had to explain to people, year 1 was Vineland, year 2 was Parsippany, year 3 was Edison, now we're back to Vineland. So we're trying to cover the whole
Rotating.
state.
They complained when it was in Parsippany.
Yes.
They complained when it was in Princeton.
Yes. I had people, I basically told people on the panel I was on that next year we should have it where we just go door to door. We'll come to your house, Doc, when it's convenient for you.
It's convenient.
Right, Jim? We'll come up to your house up on the lake when it's convenient for you.
Yeah.
But if it's not convenient, just tell us. We'll alter our schedule. So,
Right.
and then you wonder why we lose.
Yeah.
Okay, but you got to speak personally. Everybody was walking around Lou Knapp, and so you can right, Brian. You could sidebar with anybody. Cheeseman and Gillard were there. By the way, their GoFundMe case is Restore Carry NJ.
I've donated.
Right? Yep, correct. GoFundMe, Restore, Carry, NJ. So, sorry, I had to just give the customer the finger as they were walking by, because that's how we roll here. So, anyway, to
Did you
save...
do that on the camera?
Yeah, like this. So, John Willett did a phenomenal job. All the other volunteers, his wife Rachel and everybody else, really did a phenomenal job. It's worth the $20. It's worth the drive. Next year, it's going to be somewhere centrally located, but we'll still get complaints. I had people write like, "Well, if you had it in New Brunswick, I would have come." So I'm like, "Where do you live?" New Brunswick. I'm like, pathetic, pathetic.
Yes.
And then we wonder why we lose, right?
Yeah.
The good thing is there's no infighting in the two-way situation right now. The active groups and the groups that are making a change, ANJRPC, NRA, CNJFO, the second is for everyone, the SAW group, Cheeseman's group, everybody is on the same page. So we have good inertia and good momentum, because when our politicians come back this fall, we're done. There's like 60 bills right now queued up, just so you know, they're done. We're really done. So Jen, the last time you came on, you had a problem where you probably needed lipstick, bodyguard, or a gun.
Yes.
You were stalked in a mall, remember?
Yes, I was.
Sandy doesn't remember you being on the show,
Yes.
by the way.
I don't
Yeah.
remember my names.
If you want to leave a lasting impression, right? Before you leave today, sissy slap him. Okay, and then he'll
I will
remember.
do that.
What you do is then you walk close to him and I'll sissy slap him.
Okay, so he'll have
Okay.
the same effect.
Works for me.
Now, when I was a kid, we had a politically incorrect slap. We used to say,
was
I'll,
that?
I'll Jap slap you.
Japs?
Yeah, that's when you slap somebody in the head so hard in the back, your eyes go like this. Okay, I don't think we can say that anymore,
No,
right?
I don't think
No, I
you
don't
can.
think you
I
can.
don't
Okay,
think
well,
you can.
that's that.
Yeah, there you go.
So,
YouTube didn't have enough reason to ban us.
I don't care.
That's right.
Our public masters, they're all going to get regulated by the government anyway. They've been pushing
As
it.
they should.
Twitter just banned James Woods. for something he posted, so it's bullcrap.
Yeah.
Jim, when we get back, I want to talk about why you're here.
Okay.
Doc, behave.
Yes, I'll try.
It's
Thanks.
funny how the Muslim Brotherhood is still on Twitter.
You can use the N-word on Twitter too,
Oh,
and you
you
won't
can?
get banned.
Nice.
Yeah, but you can't say illegal alien.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
They're playing right into it,
Yeah.
As long if they keep doing this with the censorship, the government's gonna step in and regulate the hell out of them and break them up like they did the phone companies.
Yeah,
They're headed.
that's where it's heading.
Yeah, they're headed
towards.
the same way.
Yeah.
And it's going to be their own fault.
Yeah.
Just let it be. Why not let it be an open platform? As long as it's not like Nazi stuff. As long as it's not pedophilia. As long as it's not like killing porno movies or something, whatever they call it, snuff movies. I think it should be open forum.
Yeah.
If I want to say F you, I should be able to.
So right
Which
now,
I do anyway.
I actually am a member of CRTV now. So that I don't know. You know anything about
Yes.
that? Yeah. it's
He is a
great.
big CRTV
Yeah,
guy.
I love it.
Okay, so I wanted to thank SafeCon. This segment was brought to you by Madalian Chiropractic, Madalian chiropractic.com on Valley Road in Wayne, New Jersey.
If only we had a representative of the
Yes,
Chiropractic.
across the street from the soon-to-be Whole Foods, so I'll be going there
Yeah,
for
we
lunch.
can't wait.
Can't wait for it to open up. Support those who support us. If you or anyone you know lives within a 30-mile radius of Madalian Chiropractic, close to the range, go and check them out. Refer friends. If you're further away, go give them a positive review on Yelp or Google or any of those other platforms. So, Madalian Chiropractic. So, Jen,
Yes.
Madalian signed up as a sponsor on the show. A
Right.
week after we did the first show, Walter, your husband, sends me a message. This Madalian guy, you like him? Good guy. I'm like, yeah, he's the best. Then about 2 weeks later, your husband texts me and says, Jen loves Dr. Madalian.
Right.
Is that pretty much how it worked?
Yep.
Okay, so
Okay, I'm
that's...
done. Thank you.
And so it's been going really well?
Yeah, it has. I've got 2 herniated discs. I have some sciatic issues. And I've been going to doctors for like 4 years. The traditional doctors, they do the steroid shots. I've got nerve ablations, and nothing seemed to hold for more than maybe 6 months. I'd always have to go back to that traditional thing, which always seemed to be a Band-Aid effect for me. So I was at that point where I was almost at that 6-month mark, and we heard your podcast, and I heard Dr. Madalian and all the different ways that he approaches things, not just one particular avenue. There are a lot of different tools in his toolbox, so to speak. So I was like, why not try them out? So I went down there, tried them out, and it's only been a couple months, but I can already see a change. I used to not be able to, it sounds funny and maybe silly, but I couldn't stand for more than 10 minutes. Literally, I just could not stand in one place
that's
for 10
horrible.
minutes, and then I would be in pain and I would sit down like I was an 80-year-old. So now I'm able to stand and walk around and be a lot more mobile than I was before. So that's a huge, huge change. And even though I've only been going a couple months, I'm a mom of 3 kids and school just started, and for me it was really tough to try to find time to get to go see him. And for those 2.5 weeks, I felt a change. I felt the pain coming back in, I felt stiffness coming back in, and I started going back to him again, and it's not a switch. It takes a while, but it has gone in the right direction.
How's that? Good, Doc. You wanted to say something?
Yes.
Share the mic, Jen. Don't be a mic hog.
Yeah, we'd like to share. So, yeah, Jennifer's saying exactly what happens, that she came in, and actually we give our patients a choice of type of care. If they want to do just the pain care, if they want to do another type of care, there's really two types. And she chose one that we're going to see how near normal we could bring the spine in. So we look at it from a scientific point of view of, by taking measurements on the x-rays, seeing before x-rays, seeing after x-rays. And so we find that is the most scientific, and really, truly, we find it's the most best way. It is really the truly the most where you can take a measurement and see the difference, and not just from that. Actually happens weeks later, but if we could get changes like she's talking about, and we see that, I've been doing this for 30 years. And so what I did was I culminated, put together some techniques that I know that are out there that I know that work very, very well. And we were able to put together a program, and I call it the Madalian Spine Program. And what it is that we do a certain type of tractioning. If that's necessary, we do the specific adjustments, areas that the problem which was found on your x-ray. And we find that we do very, very well with that.
Now, you said tractioning. So could I hire you to run somebody over? Because that's what it sounded like, right? I need somebody traction.
Well, it's
No?
not exactly like that.
An
And it
Italian
doesn't
brand,
really,
so.
and there's no pain to it as well. So we want to make changes in the spine, and we want to do as permanent changes that we can. So that's what Jennifer was speaking about, where she was saying that, it takes a couple of months. I'm not a magician. I can't change things overnight, with a patient. But what we can do is give the patient an opportunity to see how far they can go with the changes, and looking at a before x-ray and after x-ray, and to see how well they're doing, if that's what they choose, because we have other options as well in our office.
Now, Jen, I'm going to ask you quite candidly, because you're only as good as your people. How's his staff? How's everybody there? Are they all as good
very
as him?
friendly.
Because I
Yes.
love the doc. He's been coming here since we
Yeah.
opened.
Yes.
Because that's such an important aspect. Like, all the doctors I go to, all of their staff are on par with the doctor.
Yes, and they're very friendly. Like, they knew me within a week or two of coming in because they kept seeing my face. So they would say hello. So you almost feel like you're coming back to family. You don't feel like you're a number. You don't feel like nobody knows you, and
So
it's such a
important.
big office that you couldn't possibly make a difference.
It's so important.
It is very important. You do feel welcome.
Cool.
So what I want to treat my patients the way I would want to be treated if I went to a doctor's office. So that's the way I look at it. And really, we look at it as a family too. And so if I'm going to look at a patient, maybe a younger patient, older patient, I'm going to say either, I'm going to treat you like I would treat my sister or my mother or my father. And that's really the way I look at it. I come from, old school thinking that, the way I feel that I want to be treated, I want to treat others as well. And I feel that's what we emulate at our office. And I
So
really,
true.
I really ask my staff to do the same thing. And if they can't, hey, listen, maybe this isn't the office for you, but we need people like that in our office. And patients really understand it, and I know that they appreciate it as well. And it's not like we're trying hard, it's just the way I am. It's my character, of how I do things in my office and all. So that's really
It's a secret sauce to any business.
It really is. It really is.
Hospitality. My business is safety and then hospitality.
And honesty.
Yes. Brian, I read that letter that you wrote online to me, and you talked about the hospitality and how you feel like you're a platinum member here. You got to go in the platinum lounge today, because we call that our green room today. But, how long have you been shooting?
I've been shooting for maybe 6 years, probably 5 or 6 years.
Did you just start out here or no?
No, I actually started at Cherry Ridge. One of
Okay.
my family friend, he belonged up there, and that got me into it. And I came from a family and friends who never shot before, not hunting, nothing, no
Same as me.
firearms in their background. And it started with that, and it has grown very quickly.
I see your Instagram post. It's all gun pictures. You have to have a little balance.
Not yet.
They'll never find you there
Exactly.
anyway. But the same thing, like you wrote that you came here and, you see, like you took a holster draw class.
Correct.
And my guys kicked your butt good.
Yeah, I took it last night, actually. I was here. Your staff was incredible. They make you feel, they push you, but they make you feel comfortable and welcome at the same time. So you're there, you're learning, and, you still have that kind of like, I'm here to do something. And I want to, I don't want to F around with it, you know what I mean?
Sure.
So, but it's still fun. They still make jokes. And when it's serious, and when it's like,
How many people in the class?
there was like 13, 12 or 13.
How many
people.
instructors?
There was 2 instructors.
And you had lines of 6.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, so I tell this all the time. So the ratio is 2 instructors to 6 students, right? We won't go above that. If we had a 7th or 8th, I'd have a 3rd instructor. many moons ago, I took a low light, no light class from a big instructor company, and it was 24 students and one instructor.
Wow.
And it was 2 lines of 12. And me and my guy who took the class together stood with our backs against the wall between firing lines, loading our ammo and watching everybody. And the instructor, all he did was show us a drill, then he did the drill, and then he brought 12 of us up to do the drill a couple of times, then made us safe, reload, reholster, go back behind the line, and then the next 12 come up. And he did that like 7 times, and it was a 6-hour class. And I thought about it. This was before I started our urban classes with my tactical guys, and I was like, I will never run a class like that. That is such, a lot of the big names do that, like the Navy SEALs and stuff. They're all good guys, but they're real lone wolves, and they'll fly in and they'll train like 24 to 1, and they'll run 2 lines of 12, and they'll tell you what to do, and they're very good at what they do. But I look at it as a different level. If you're struggling, I don't want them to just gloss over it. I want them to work with you. And personalized.
They did.
Yeah.
They were very approachable too. I mean, I came up with a few questions on my own, and they're there, and it ran very well.
So who's got better customer service, me or Dr. Medallion?
Could I say it's a tie? Why I'm in front of both of you?
For now, that'll be.
You can tell me later on the truth.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I could tell the type of guy Dr. Madalian was when he first became a member here, So I knew his character, and I figured how he ran things anyway, just because, he was so attentive to the way I do things, and he recognized stuff, and he'd come over and give me accolades about the staff and the facility or whatever. So you could tell right away. When somebody's tuned in, they're tuned in. When they're not, they're not, right? Right away. Go ahead, Doc.
And that's the truth. I mean, I would look at your place, and I said, wow, this is first class, top of the line that you have here, Anthony. I'm not just saying that. And you actually said, talk to Matt, and some of the other your staff. That I said, listen, some of the things that you're doing here, I like to bring it into my office as well. And Matt was really great. So
Matt's my art director.
Yeah, and it's true. It's true what you're saying.
But it's all the same. You get right, Jen. You know the same thing. If you walk into a food store or something, if it's dirty out front, the first thing I think is, what's it look like behind the scenes, right?
The quality is not going to be there.
Correct. That's when or if somebody behind the counter is like, what?
Yeah.
What do you want? Like, okay, I'm gone. It's amazing how people sometimes can't put those pieces of the puzzle together. And me, in my industry, I have people that are coming in here that are nervous. I think back the first time I went to Ray's Sporting Goods, and I was so intimidated.
They were terrible.
There was no internet or anything, and you walk up to the counter, and there's guys with guns on, off-duty cops, and they were all so they were so brash and short with their answers, and it's like, wow, I'm trying to spend money here. And you're knocking me down. Like I couldn't relate.
So true.
And guns, it's tough. Like we talk about this all the time. I read body language all the time. I see the women come in, closed body language, and then an hour later walking out, holding the target and screaming they'll be back and they had a good time. And I'll talk to them like, yeah, I was scared shit when I came in.
Yeah, but Anthony, is that like part of your class too? That I'm sure that looking at people's body language and seeing that, it kind of, especially like. You were in that truck the other day on the highway, and you saw the guy coming up, swerving, and you said you could tell from the guy's face.
Yeah, I knew he was coming after me.
What was going to happen. So, it's important.
Yeah, we read that. See, and women are always nervous coming into a range, and guys are hardly ever nervous because women are smarter than men, okay? Right?
I have to agree on that because my wife came to me and said, Henry, I said, I think that we should come to Anthony's place and learn how to, use a gun. And
you're like,
it's in my DNA.
I said, of course, honey. And my daughter, she's 12 years old. She said, Dad, I want to come too. I said, honey, there's a pink gun for you. We'll get you a pink gun.
Nice. Yeah, women are smarter than men, so they know guns are dangerous, so they're nervous.
Absolutely.
Yes, men are reckless.
At times.
Most of the time. We get older, we get a little better.
And we're out.
Do you ever see there's always memes about why women live longer than men, and they'll show men with ladders on scaffolding, standing on 20 paint.
I have to say that's the truth. That's the truth. I had a patient that the husband was doing that.
Yeah.
Broke both ankles.
He's lucky.
Yeah, I know, right?
So lucky.
He couldn't do anything. He
But
couldn't
men will do
anything.
that. Women are like, why don't you just hire a guy to clean the gutters? No, I got it.
Cautious.
Yes.
Cautious.
Right, Sandy?
do it myself.
I'm going to throw a rope around the chimney and
Yeah.
pull my...
And
And the
I'll hang
chimney's
on to
already
it.
crooked and broken.
Here's the phone. How many times have I said to my wife, here's the phone, dial 911. That's great.
Oh, God forbid.
All right, 5 seconds.
What?
I'm going to put this offer to your listeners.
And stand by.
Don't forget gun sitters in Whippany if you need to store your guns temporarily or long term. If you get in trouble or, got kids in the house, going through a divorce, any type of situation, gunsitters.com. They were at SafeCon as well.
Great idea.
Yes, Dr. Madalian has a special offer here. Doc, read it out because I can't see it. I'm holding it up.
Sure. What we're doing is that for your people that are listening on the podcast, that we're offering the month of October, we're calling it Freedom from Pain.
Nice.
We're offering to new patients a full exam, x-rays if needed. That's a value of $250 for $35.
I'll take 3.
There you
Freedom
go.
from Pain. Can I send my controller to you?
But this is, when I heard the
just to get
title
rid of
Freedom
them.
from Pain, I thought you were offering divorces.
Yeah, no.
See, we're thinking alike.
Did you know married men live longer than single men, but married men are more willing to die?
That makes you go,
I just thought it just seemed.
Go ahead, Jen. Go ahead, Jen.
I don't know if you want me to comment on that one.
So, getting back to gun stuff real quick, before we talk more to Brian and Jen, and you guys can interrupt me anytime you want. I went to grab Jen's arm. I had to make sure I didn't grab something else. I'd end up Kavanaugh'd. you know, on video. Okay? So, the New Jersey Attorney General is joining 11 other states to protest the decision in the Hawaiian Court of Appeals, the Third Circuit, allowing open carry because they're afraid that that's going to bleed over to New Jersey. Remember, what happens in New Jersey doesn't stay in New Jersey, right? We also had an attempted carjacking in Short Hills with a 13-year-old girl in the car. A car pulled up, 2 bad guys. One got out, one went to get in the car, and the owner's 13-year-old girl was in the car, and he was trying to open the door, and he asked the guy for the keys, and the father said he was going inside to get the keys. He came out with a gun, and the carjacker jumped in the getaway car with his partner and drove away.
Wow.
Okay, it's amazing.
That's more powerful than the lipstick bodyguard.
That's more powerful than a lipstick bodyguard. But unfortunately, in New Jersey, I was waiting to see if he got charged.
Yeah, I was waiting
Yeah.
to see that.
You know what I mean? Like his, obviously you can keep your gun on the property, but I'm surprised Murphy and the AG aren't pissed that he brandished a weapon. Let him have your daughter. Don't you know guns are dangerous?
Right, exactly. And they're all
Right? That's the mentality. Right? Look at
So
Jen.
over
she's
my
got
dead-
the,
over
you know,
my dead body.
She's got the mama
Yeah.
bear here. You know.
Over my dead
Yeah.
Yes,
body.
indeed.
Although I'm more afraid of her daughter Katrina than her.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Daddy raised her right. Yeah. She comes here a lot with Dad, and I don't picture her taking any shit. When she told me she was in the city or something one day, I was like, oh yeah, she's good. Yeah, right?
She goes every weekend.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, she's good.
And
She
I
goes to
give her
school
my
or
lipstick
something,
bodyguard.
right?
No, she goes to a class.
A class, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, Katrina's good. And how old is she?
16.
16.
16.
But she has good situational awareness and everything. When she sits in the VIP lounge, she sits with her back to the wall facing the door. Like most 16-year-old kids don't do that.
Yeah.
You know, it's inherent or it's
I've
not.
taught her well.
Yes,
Yeah.
so
I've taught her well.
so you did good with her. New Jersey, just like New York now, Governor Harpo Cuomo is expanding more gun control in the city, going after different insurances now as well. Anybody that underwrites insurance. I also heard from a controller in the state of New Jersey that under Governor Murphy, they've divested all of their investments in anything that's remotely related to firearms, and all of New Jersey's portfolios took a hit. We're $214 billion in debt in New Jersey, and we have $25 billion in our coffers.
Well, politics
and we're
is
giving
far more important than keeping your promise to
profit.
the pension.
But they
idiots.
cut from everybody,
Yeah.
outdoor groups, anything related to any kind of firearms. Walt just gave me the finger. Or a half a peace sign, as Ainsley Reynolds would say.
Share and share alike.
Yeah, so anything related to any type of firearms or anything, they cut out of their portfolios at the expense of people on pensions and everything else. So,
You mean the very
yeah.
people who elected him, despite the fact that they voted against his Second Amendment rights, those people?
Correct. 67% of the registered voters in New Jersey did not vote in the last gubernatorial election.
67%.
67%.
That's sad.
It's NJ.com.
That is sad.
67%. I mean, we basically ran a non-race on the Republican side, right?
Correct. Godano lost by about 220,000 votes, but 67% did not show up. We had a guy at SafeCon talk about, you guys remember when Al Gore and Bush were running and it had went to the U.S. Supreme Court? It was decided by 84 votes.
Yes.
He was telling us, he stood up at SafeCon, he goes, I took my Utah class from you guys, he was sitting in the front, Brian. Him and his wife were in New Jersey, and they drove down to Florida where they registered to vote. They're snowbirds, and they voted in that election. So he got up and said, don't tell me your vote doesn't count.
Yeah.
He goes, because Bush won by 84 votes, and it went to the Supreme Court for that decision. He goes, my wife and I were 2 of those 84 votes, because we got off our asses and drove to Florida. They forgot to do the absentee ballot. He told his wife, get in the car, we're going to Florida. 2 days later at the Florida, they voted, they stayed at their house for a few days, and they drove back up to New Jersey.
Good for them.
Good for
So
them.
people say their vote doesn't count, but see, it's apathy now. You know, I think we have Stockholm syndrome, Jim. We're so
Especially in
beat
New
up, we don't
Jersey.
care.
Yeah.
Well, and we don't think that our voice really matters.
Correct.
Because it is just constantly the same people getting put in office, no matter what we try to vote.
And again, we're putting them there, and I go back to George Washington. Walter and I were talking about that before in the green room. Washington warned against the two-party system for this very reason.
Right.
Because all it does is create divisiveness. And if you take a look at the way most people look at politics, it's almost like they're looking at a sports team. Your team versus my team.
Right.
And it doesn't matter what we have to do in order to win.
To win, right. Lie, cheat, and steal.
So, Brian, so you decided, you listened to the show, you shoot at the range here, you went down to SafeCon, you're getting involved. So how'd you end up with Dr. Madalian too? We got you here to share some stories.
Not a problem.
Did he pay you to come here today?
No, I actually was excited to be on the show,
Oh, okay.
surprisingly.
You're
Son of
the
a
only one.
Yeah, about a decade ago or so, I was in an accident and I fractured my L4 and L5. I've always had, pain in my lower back, which eventually extends up to my upper back and my neck. Over the years, I tried going to a chiropractor back then, and it was, you'd go there and they'd say it would take like X amount of weeks to start getting better. You'd sit through it, it wouldn't really get better, and then you just don't trust that they're, there for the money or there for yourself. Eventually I just stopped doing it and I just kind of dealt with it. Now I own a volleyball company and I try to play as often as possible and, just over
With a
time.
bad back.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
that's...
then it's, you do
Remind
what
me
you
to
gotta
knock you out after the show.
do. You do what you gotta do.
Go ahead.
That's my workout for the week, so I can take it. But then, my shoulder, because of my back, my shoulder and neck got really bad from playing. I actually stopped playing for about a year last year because it was so bad. And then, again, I listened to the show, I heard the advertisement. If you're saying it, I kind of trust that it's a good thing, support those who support you. I woke up one morning, and I really couldn't turn my neck at all, and my shoulder was completely out of whack. And I just, I remember you talking about it, and I made an appointment. I went over there, and as soon as I walked in, they were very friendly. I told them I was, that I got a recommendation from you guys, and they were even more friendly, which again, in this state, is not very common, coming from a gun industry. So again, it was it was good because I can go there. Dr. Madalian and he talks about when I sit there, I do my stuff. We talk about hunting, we talk about shooting, stuff that you can't go anywhere else and talk about. I feel like
I never really thought about that because every doctor I go to, surgeon doctor, is all pro-gun. He comes in, my world is a little different than most people. I don't have kids, and I choose, my dentist shoots here, my hygienist, so your perspective is weird because you're right. Like Sandy says, we have to be closet gun owners in the state of New Jersey.
Unfortunately, yeah.
So the first day I came in, I was very surprised. He had all the stuff that he needed. He had the X-ray machine and everything right in his office. So usually I'm used to going somewhere, getting referral, going somewhere else. So 3 weeks later, I can get started on my treatment. Now again, I can barely move my neck at a time. He took the X-ray. He showed me everything. He put a little heat on it. He didn't want to do too much in the beginning. He wanted me to go over the options. So pretty much at his office, he was telling me that, they have, different options where you can, again, fix what you got to do and that'd be the end of it, or you can come in a little more seriously a few times a week and really fix it as a whole and, benefit as a lifestyle. And, I opted to come in more often. I mean, I come from South Jersey. I work in North Jersey, so I kind of, I live down in Manahawkin, which is by Long Beach Island, and I still travel up there to see him. And that's how
hardcore.
I test how good of a job
Can you
it
show
does.
me on this doll where the doc touched you?
I can. But that first day, even right away, he showed me the X-rays. He showed me exactly, what was right, what was wrong. He went over with me, and then 2 days later, I came back in, and my neck he fixed pretty immediately that initial thing. And it's funny, when I go in there, he has me test, like moving my neck around, and you hear these noises in your neck that you're not supposed to hear.
Yeah, me too. Crunch, crack, ping,
and
right?
then after he adjusts me, and it's, you're talking about 15 minutes later, I laugh as I'm doing the exercise again because it's that much of a difference.
Freeze you right up, huh?
Yeah, and it's, it's something I wish I could feel every day, but it's going to take time, and again, he's been very good about, he's not pushy. He doesn't tell you, you have to do this, schedule this, you got to pay this, whatever. I come in when I need to do it, and it's been great, and I hope to keep doing it until, again,
Sandy, what happened?
I do.
Sandy?
I'm breaking the mic.
You okay? Sandy?
Keep going.
You know what it is? It's that NSA van outside. The one that it says Entenmann's cake on it. I knew there's no Entenmann's
I thought we're shielded
cake.
here.
No, it's Entenmann's cake out there.
So yeah, he figured out the issue, and again, I try to go there as often as I can. It's not, I run my own business. I come from South Jersey. It's not the easiest thing to do,
But your health.
It's
What's more important than your health?
Yeah,
Right, Jen? You couldn't stand for 10 minutes. How miserable were you?
Miserable.
Your poor kids and husband. Ooh.
My wife and stepdaughter are more important, and I'm happy to say that she can hear me now.
God bless.
But so I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing, and he's been doing a great job. Again, his hospitality is great. Again, I have my own business, and one of the big things is my staff is what makes it so important. Just like you come in there,
You're only as good as your people.
Right.
people feel very comfortable at home, and I appreciate everything.
Yeah, we have a lot of patients that speak just like Brian, and he's really talking from the heart, and as well as Jennifer. And the offer that we're giving is exactly what I did in the beginning with both of them, is that we did a full exam and we took the x-ray, whatever x-rays were necessary, and
Go check
after
it
that,
out. Well, if you check the doc out and you're happy, come on the show.
yeah, absolutely.
Jen, are you getting another dog?
No, we are not.
Okay, that's what I heard. He's a shepherd guy over there too,
Yeah.
Oh,
You've
that's
seen
Michael.
pictures of Bruno. I sent
I
them to
have.
you already, yes.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. We're going to go discuss some holiday safety tips and get some insight from Jen. So show us on the doll where the doc touched you. Go ahead. Show me.
It was weird, but he said it was around here.
He pointed to the lower back, YouTubers.
Yeah, it was
He pointed
on
to
the back,
lower
not the
back
front.
Right here. He was
The back.
Right here.
My pelvis is directly related to my spine. I said, okay, doctor.
Oh, God.
Who are you to argue?
I don't have my, doctor. I have my PhD.
Okay, coming back. And stand by.
Doing good.
So one of the things I ranted about last week was when you order takeout food and it comes and they forget forks or they forget the dressing or they forget an entire entree. But what really pisses me off is you order, Jen, like a chicken parm or eggplant parm sandwich. It comes wrapped in foil.
Right. The foil sticks to the damn cheese.
When you pull
had
the
me
fry-
jumping
Yeah,
off
yeah,
of
yeah.
it was
You were pissed, right?
yeah.
And then the sandwich steams in the foil. Like when you order from Ritacos in Nutley, they put it in a clamshell container.
Right.
And it's edible when you get it. So I ranted about that, and it got like 20,000 views and impressions all over the place. And this kid walks in from Pizza One in Wayne, and he also owns My Salad in Wayne. He came in. He wants to buy lunch for the whole place because him and his sister saw my rant. He wants to buy lunch for all my employees and send it in. He wants me to critique it. But one of the things I said on my rant, Janet, my friend, Tuesday. My friend George Ritacco owns Ritacco Brothers. What he does is he'll go to Jen and Walter's house and he'll have them order $60, $70 of food for everybody, and his staff doesn't know he's there. And then the food gets delivered, and he dissects it, looks at it, presentation, everything, takes pictures or whatever, and then he'll go back to the staff with accolades or, you screwed up.
Corrections, right.
Because I think a lot of these places don't realize you take a meatball parm sandwich out of the oven, steaming hot, wrap it in foil tight, throw it in a bag, and then 20 minutes later you get it at your house. What did you think it was going to look like?
Exactly. Soggy with the cheese stuck to the foil.
Right? How many of us have scraped off the foil?
And you have to eat it.
And they use cheap foil. It breaks apart.
It breaks apart.
That's the worst.
Right? So now you're eating foil.
Your cheese.
Doc, you're a doctor. Is foil protein or fiber?
Neither.
He said neither. So anyway, I ranted about that, and it looks like there is such a thing as a free lunch.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool. If you want to see Ant's rants, it's on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. So I mean, I think
It's like
I've
one of
covered.
my favorite pastimes.
What, watching my rants?
Yeah.
That's what I do when I drive to work.
Yeah, pretty much something gets under my skin every day. They've gone a lot more viral. Now, I know a lot of us do online shopping, right? And this weather is coming now. We'll be changing the clock soon. It's going to get darker, right? So, a couple of things to think about. I do all my shopping on Amazon.com, but Patty likes to go to the mall sometimes, right? Women like to go to the mall. They like to get festive, and they like to look at stuff and get ideas. And so I just want to go over some tips, Jen, especially for you as a female. Brian and the doc you should listen to, because as men, sometimes we tend to let our guard down. But men are victims of crimes and robbery all the time as well. Try to avoid driving alone at night, especially if you're shopping. The buddy system's always good. Always keep your doors and windows closed, when you're in your car. It's important. You shouldn't have your windows open. Somebody will just approach you, stick a gun to your head. There's a lot of carjackings and robberies that happen around malls. It's a target-rich environment, all right? I'm not going to go to a deserted town to rob somebody. I'm going to hang around right outside the mall.
That's the most people.
Correct, all right? Avoid parking next to vans, trucks, especially camper shells. Then you're going to end up rubbing the lotion on your skin or something, okay? Yeah, right. Try not to park next to cars with tinted windows. This is situational awareness stuff that you got to teach your kids. You don't want to park between two vans, where nobody can see your car. Don't leave packages or valuables in your car. We talk about this all the time. Everybody should have a black emergency blanket in their car. You can literally get a blanket. Sandy's freaking out. You can literally get a blanket from Amazon.com for $6, like a black felt blanket.
Yeah.
Keep it folded. You have an SUV.
I do.
So you can cover. Listen, when it's
I already have the blanket in there.
Correct. With a flashlight, Doc, if you look inside a car with a black blanket, you can't tell there's something in there.
Yeah.
You okay there? You okay there? Okay. Before you leave the mall, your keys should be in your hand. If you have lipstick, bodyguard, or mace, should be. Go ahead, Jen.
Top off the mace and finger on the trigger.
Deployed.
Yeah.
Ready.
Ready to go.
See that? Somebody listens to the show.
Yeah.
That's right.
Because if you have your
Yeah.
keys in one hand and the mace or the lipstick bodyguard in the other hand, you're ready. Now she's an index finger. I'm a thumber. Okay, She used her index finger. I used the thumb. But you got to be ready to go. You spray somebody with the mace. You run screaming in a safe direction. Never let anybody take you to a secondary location. At all costs. I don't care if your hair gets pulled out. I don't care if you get shot in the arm as you're
Second crime
fleeing.
scene, as we say, right?
That's right. You'll end up dead. Go ahead. You got something, Doc?
Yeah, I was going to say, but I want the royalties on this.
Go ahead.
So I think this is a message to Lipstick Bodyguard. They should make one that looks like a cigar.
Cigar bodyguard?
There you go. There you go.
He would
That's a
smoke
vape.
it, too.
I would smell. I don't care. Cayenne pepper. I put it on a chili dog.
there you go.
That's
And
good idea.
for men to have this.
Nice, but you're not getting anything.
Oh, okay.
The other thing is, so you make sure you locate your keys. For women, make sure you're holding your purse or handbag or parcels. Your hand shouldn't be full. All right? If you're carrying too much, you're definitely vulnerable if your hands are full. Do not approach your car alone if there's suspicious people in the area, right? Right, we talked about this before. Wait a few minutes, or what I always like to say is latch on to another group. If Jen's leaving the mall 7:30 at night, if there's a party of 5 or 6 women and guys walk out right behind them, like you're with them, and then break off and go to your car. And always look around your car before. Don't unlock the doors, 60 feet before you get to the car. Unlock the doors 6 feet before you get to the car.
Or less.
Or and then what's the first thing you do, Jen, as soon as you get in the car?
Lock it.
Lock the doors. Start the car. Pull out of the spot. If you want to go to the edge of the mall parking lot with your foot on the brake and text, honey, leaving mall now, on way home. Kids, start dinner, blah, blah, blah. That's the time to do it. Not while you're in the spot where you're boxed in or whatever. That's the time to do it. We should try shopping daylight hours if possible. You should dress casually and comfortable. Don't wear your flashy jewelry. Don't wear that big Louis Vuitton never full purse, because somebody could just reach in. You ever see women with the purses hanging open? Right, I see it food shopping all the time. The woman leaves their bag in the purse, and their wallet with their credit cards is right on top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to go over and say something, but then I'll end up getting,
You'll be arrested.
Yeah. Don't carry large amounts of cash, especially don't flash large amounts of cash. Everybody's watching. And a lot of times, security is in on it. Okay? I'll be watching the cameras, and I'll text Brian, the lady in the black sweater in the women's jacket area. She's got a lot of dough on her. Right, and he's my buddy. He's sitting out in the car in the mall smoking a cigarette or something, and now he comes in, he follows her. You don't think it happens? It happens, okay?
Yeah.
Happens
And
all
even
the time.
for kids now are starting to carry their own wallets. I've got kids that are coming up in age, and they're just starting out. One of the things I tell them is never, ever take all your money out of your wallet. Know where it is in your wallet, take out what you need, and close it. Don't flash the money,
You just
because
become
you become a target.
Yeah, sure.
Avoid carrying cash. Pay for purchases with credit card if possible. These kids will use Venmo and everything else like that. Avoid overloading yourself with packages. That one was directed at you. Right. Even though, Brian, do you have a black belt in shopping? You seem like you do.
I am an online shopper.
Okay, so am I, but I have a black belt in shopping. Beware of strangers approaching you for any reason. Do not engage in anybody. There's a ton of con games. Someone will walk up to you, Brian, and start talking to you, and meanwhile the Doc and Sandy are walking behind you to set you up. I just tell everybody, I don't care. I put my hand up. I always use forced body language. I'm like, have a nice day, and I just keep walking, 9 times out of 10, they don't say anything. Sometimes they might say something derogatory. I just keep pushing through.
But it doesn't matter. No, thank you.
Yes.
Move on.
If possible, you should leave small children home. How many times have we seen the woman loading bags in the back with their kid in the shopping cart in the back? And every time she picks a bag up and turns, that kid is sitting there exposed in a shop. Am I right or wrong, right?
Right.
No,
Don't you get the chills when you see stuff like that?
Yes.
So that's very important. Plus, kids shouldn't be in a mall. Actually, kids shouldn't be out in public at all, if I had my way.
I would say so.
Okay.
Well, I don't know about that.
I went to a birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese, and I was like, why are all these kids here? Seriously.
For me, that's why they made duct tape and coat closets.
We talk about this all the time when you travel. Okay, Doc, you got kids that are kind of young. Take a picture of your daughter, 12 years old. How old's your stepdaughter?
Turning 3 next month.
Take a picture of her before you walk into the mall. If, God forbid, you get separated, you have a current photo with the clothes she's wearing. You should do that when you go on vacation, too.
Actually, very
You should do
smart.
that when you're
Right.
going apple picking. Anything you're going to do like that. Hey, babe, pose for us for a picture. Take a nice
wife
picture
would do
with
that
the
anymore.
entire outfit, okay? Yeah, but a lot of people, old school people, would be showing a picture from 2 months ago. And they're not wearing the same clothing, and maybe they had a haircut. So current photo. Let's exploit that technology whenever we can. If they're old enough to have a phone, make sure you have Find My iPhone and that geotagging and all of that stuff connected to them, so that you can, if you have to, you can locate the kids. Kids they should never go unaccompanied in a restroom. I'm a firm believer in that, until they're a certain age where they can take care of themselves. And today, kind of anything goes. All 84 genders are welcome everywhere. So I was fortunate that I raised 2 boys when they were younger, and now I'm with Patty. She has 2 girls, but they're 21 and 23. So I'll just hang outside the restroom while they're going. So I'm not in that precarious position anymore. But I still, at my age and at their age, I still like to be the Papa Bear and hang outside the bathroom, right?
Right.
Jen?
Yes.
Trust but verify, Brian. See, for you, it's a stepdaughter, so your wife goes with her, but there's going to be times where you're going to be in that position. Yeah, there's going to be times you're in that position, and never let embarrassment overrule. Okay, safety comes first, What else? You should always teach children their full name and address. They should know it automatically. You also should have a code word with children. We talk about this all the time. Most children are abused or abducted by a family or friend, somebody close, family member or friend, because they have the confidence, okay? I go to, I know Katrina. Katrina, mom and dad were in an accident. Come with me. I meet her outside her class in New York, right? She has confidence with me. She's supposed to be taught, I need to know what the password is, okay? And you give your kid a password, and if we don't know the password, then your kid is trained, well, I can't go with you until the police come here. Okay, because you'll read about it all the time. It's always Uncle Joe or Aunt Nancy that abducted the kid. It's somebody that's been in the house and they know the kid's schedule. So again, Katrina, she told me she goes to a class in New York. I can meet her outside. Mom and Dad were in a bad accident, and one of Dad's McLarens. I can personalize the shit out of it, where I can probably, it would be harder with Katrina because she's older and she has a phone. She could verify. I used her as an example, but an 8-year-old.
Right.
Yeah, wouldn't have that information.
All mine.
Yeah.
Right? So those are just some tips. We'll go over some more next week. I want to thank everybody. Brian, coming on the show, congratulations.
Thank you again.
Jen, for putting up with Walter all of this time. I heard that Artemis is coming, but I'm not going to say anything.
No.
Dr. Madalian is at Madalian Chiropractic on Valley Road in Wayne. He's about literally 6 miles from the range here. I mean, hell, he'll even meet you at the range and he can talk to you. Doc, I want to thank you for coming on. Show Tree 80 Tree.
Thank you very much for having us.
You're welcome. You're the best. Sansom?
Doctor, can you tell us how to reach you once more?
Sure. Our phone number is 973-633-0117. You can speak to one of my lovely staff members. Paola is our office manager, and she will help you with any questions you have about your insurance. And this offer is good for the whole entire month of October.
Trick or treat.
Pain-free October.
Pain-free October.
I'm taking advantage of pain-free October. I'm going to send you a list of people.
Okay.
Yeah, you can just take care of those.
We'll let them know if we can help them, and then we'll do what we got to do.
Okay. We'll put them on a bus.
If there's any dentist out there, I'm looking to pull somebody's tooth. If you want to reach out to me, I want to see what it feels like. A back tooth, something that's in there good.
Do you want to do it in the dentist's office?
If possible, or anywhere, I don't care.
Live on the podcast.
I'll do it from the studio, from their car, whatever.
That's good.
I'm good. I'm open.
Why do you need a dentist? We can get a pair of pliers.
No. I need a dentist too. I want some input.
Okay.
I want to know if I did good. When I pull it out and everything, I want to know if I did good.
That's good. Yeah. Okay, there we have it on record.
Yes.
It's very good. That's just how he rolls. All right, well, you've done it
Don't
again.
forget this guy.
You've wasted yet another perfectly good hour listening to Gun for Hire Radio. Gun for Hire Radio is a Counterthink media production. The music used in this broadcast was managed by Cosmo Music, New York, under license of Broadcast Music Incorporated. I'm Sandy Berardi. On behalf of my co-host, Master Trainer Anthony Calandro, and the rest of the crew here at Gun for Hire Radio, we do thank you so much for listening. Winston, take it away, my friend. Love you guys. See you next week.
Winston's getting so old. I don't know. Let me see if I can figure these out.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You guys take care.